Good afternoon to you. I hope you can hear with all of this wind noise about, but it's just gone 12:30. Uh, Delightful bike ride with my friend Michael, who we have to thank, because without Michael, there wouldn't be these YouTube videos happening right at the moment, because it's from Michael that this iPhone 7 came, that I'm able to record things on. And another big thanks to the Alaska Triathlon Club for sending me this awesome bidon as well as a pair of cycling socks. Again, nutrition companies, sporting goods companies out there, if you're wanting to have your products featured on my video, get in touch. Anyway, but that's not what he called. What I will be discussing with you just a little bit later once I'm back in my office is what my plans are for July, and I'm thinking about setting myself a really silly goal as far as content creation is concerned, but more of that a little bit later. Let me get my coffee stop wrapped up with Michael, finish our ride, and then get back into the office, and I'll talk to you then. See you then. Cheers. Hey there, the sun's still high in the sky as you can see over there, and I'm here at 6:45 in the evening, just to give you my rundown as far as what's been happening for the day and content-wise and everything like that. I'm going to obviously be continuing with the content because I've got a couple of really specific things that I'm wanting to nail down. But earlier on I was talking to you about my probably absolutely insane sounding target that I've set myself for the month of July. And the target is 75,000 words of content that I want to get nailed down in July, which equates out to somewhere in the ballpark of 2,400 and a little bit words per day, each and every single calendar day for the month of July. Which is not completely preposterous as far as a daily target is concerned, but when you look at the overall 75,000, it looks like an absolutely impossible task. Now that's something that I wanted to talk to you just really briefly as far as the strategy that I'm looking at is that if you look at 75,000 words of content, that's absolutely impossible. However, breaking it down into the bite-sized chunks of 2,400 odd words of content at a time, it suddenly falls back within the realm of possibility. So what we can all learn from this is don't get bogged down by a massive total. For argument's sake, you're just starting off a blog, and what I often say to people is that try and get your first 50 posts out as quickly as you possibly can, hopefully within the first 2 to 3 months to get your first 50 posts out on a brand new blog. And many people think that's an absolutely impossible task because you're looking at 50 posts as this massive mountain in front of you. However, if you set yourself a target of hitting publish on a new blog post every second day, that's suddenly within the realm of possibility. Keep on doing that, and within your first 3 months, you'll have approximately 50 posts up on your website. So suddenly that 50 posts in 3 months is not so much of an impossible task anymore, because you've just been looking at publishing a post every second day. For instance, I've got 4 posts lined up there that I'm wanting to get as far through those posts as I possibly can, potentially maybe even getting 3 of those published before I go to bed tonight. But if I get 2 of those published before I go to bed tonight, I'll still be ahead of the curve as far as my word target towards that massive 75,000 word goal. Now, what's so important about now we're in the month of July, about hitting 75,000 words this month? Because it's going to take, because these are all really established blogs, it's going to take probably about 2 months or so for those posts all to be fully indexed and fully ranked within the Google system. So if I can get 75,000 words of content written now, that means that all of that content is going to be ranking and bringing in traffic by the time we get to the month of September, which is when I've got my next big content push. So that's the reason why I'm looking at that. Another matter, as far as part of the 70,000 word total is concerned, is I've got a client that I'm doing freelance blog post writing for in the wine niche, and I've got 3 posts that I'm needing to nail there as far as wrapping all of that up. I was on target to be doing that during the course of the month of June up until the 8th when Catalina passed, and I just wasn't able to focus properly on that specific niche um, for the very obvious reason that just before she collapsed and passed, the two of us had been enjoying a glass of wine together. So when it came to the topic of wine, I just couldn't focus in that specific direction. Um, but there is this client. I have made the promise to the client to deliver the all of the content that was within that specific article hit list, and part of my 75,000 words of content that I'm wanting to knock out during the course of the month of July includes that. And then I'll wait and see what other new freelance work comes in. But until that happens, I've got a good number of articles that I can nail down and knock out, and I'm looking at between 2 and 4 of those happening literally over the course of this evening. I must admit I'm feeling just a little bit fatigued, but that might be some of the carbohydrates of the lunch that I had, because I had this big, which is 1,980 calorie bike ride this morning, and finished that off at about 1 o'clock-ish or so, and I had a high carb lunch at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's now, as I mentioned, coming up for 7 o'clock, so I'm having a little bit of a energy dip right at the moment, but I'm sure I'll get through that and be able to get those blog posts knocked out. Then, looking ahead as far as tomorrow's concerned, I'm looking at getting a ride in, and we'll be seeing the first of the potential outcomes as far as this intermittent fasting and high calorie burn bike rides that I've been doing. I've got having been invited out to an evening of tapas and with some friends of mine tomorrow evening, Sunday, at about 6 o'clock in the evening, and that will be again my opportunity to get back on a scale, and we'll see where my weight is traveling to. Is it traveling in the right direction, or is it traveling in the wrong direction? I think with the combination of intermittent fasting and the bike rides, I've got a strong suspicion that it's traveling in the right direction. But anyway, I see this segment of the video is already up at 7 minutes long. I'm going to wrap it up there. Just let you know that Saturday late afternoon, I'm going to be looking at knocking out at least 2 blog posts, and tomorrow Sunday, to stay on track, I'll be needing to hit another 2,400 words of content. Again, that's about another 2 blog posts, so it's all within the realm of possibility. Have yourselves an awesome July, and let me know in the comments down below what's your word count target that you wanted to hit for this month, and maybe during the course of tomorrow I can bring in a couple of my strategies that I'm using to be able to hit those type of targets. But until we speak again, have an awesome day, and cheers.